John Wesley founded the Methodist Church and was famous for asking the question of his followers, brother or sister, what is the state of your soul? This is not a question that comes up all that often in modern Judaism, but it should come up more often than it does, and maybe it should come up on a daily basis. So I'm going to ask the question, brother, sister, what is the state of your soul? Actually, we've had a class here at Shaarei Tzedek the last few weeks. It's concluding this Sunday on the survival of the soul, the immortality of the soul. It's been very, very lively and interesting. And I learned something very, very special from the Kabbalistic master, Rabbi Isaac Luria, lived in 16th century Tzfat in northern Israel. And he has this wonderful analogy with which he is able to explain the relationship between body and spirit. And so he says that it's like a glass blower blowing glass. The glass, as it grows under the impact of the glass blower's breath being the body, but the breath actually shaping and sustaining the existence of this glass. And the thing about the soul in Judaism is not only that it survives, not only that it exists, but that it also has several different layers, each layer being a different level of consciousness. Now, mostly we're familiar with waking, dreaming, and sleep states of consciousness. They would correspond to that level of soul known in Judaism as the nefesh, sort of the body-centered consciousness. And in Luria's analogy, this would be like the condensed moisture of the breath of the glass blower on the inside of the glass as it's being blown. There's another level of soul in Judaism called ruach, or spirit, and this has to do with our emotional life. And this too we experience commonly. Any emotionally tinged situation is a different level of consciousness, a different color of experience. And that, in Luria's analogy, corresponds to the breath that is actually within the glass as it's being blown. There's a third level in Judaism, the level of neshama, which is related to breath. Actually, linshom is the Hebrew word for to breathe. And this neshama, in Luria's analogy, corresponds to the breath in motion as it flows into the glass tube. And this is a spiritual level of consciousness. Sometimes we get a chance to experience neshama. When we have a peak experience, for example, maybe we're holding our first grandchild, maybe we've just climbed a mountain, maybe we're in nature and we experience the overwhelming beauty of creation. These kinds of experiences are related to neshama. But in Judaism, there are higher levels of soul beyond the neshama. There is also the level of chaya, which means life. This is where the individual soul first comes into being. And then the level of what's called yechidah, which means oneness or unity with God. And at this level, the human spirit is really indistinguishable from divinity. It's that aspect of ourselves, along with chaya, which is hardwired into God, and which cannot be sullied by any mistake or misperception or sin, anything that we've done in this world. These two aspects of the soul remain divine. And when I discovered this, it gave me a great deal of hope, because it made me realize that no matter what I've done, and no matter how long I've been doing it, there's an aspect of myself which I can still come back to in doing tshuva, in doing repentance, that is still pure, and that is still holy, and that is still truthful, and that still allows me to be able to come back. Going back to Luria's analogy, he would say that the in-breath of the glass blower, before he starts to blow, corresponds to chaya, that level of life. And the highest level, yechidah, that would be the soul, the very essence of the glass blower himself. And so this presents such an amazingly clear picture of the structure of the human spirit, which has really so much complexity and so much dimensionality to it. It makes it very, very simple, and gives us a vision really what's possible for human experience. It's not just waking, dreaming, and sleep states of consciousness, endlessly repeating over and over again. There's the possibility of connecting to our divinity, and that is what makes life truly exciting and wonderful. Stay connected with us by visiting our website at www.shaarei Tzedek.mb.ca for all the latest information about our activities here. And also you can find us on Facebook by clicking the link from our website or by visiting www.facebook.com/Shaarei Tzedek Winnipeg. So I thank you very much for tuning in. Oh, there's a note here. Our Facebook page now includes a tab with all my weekly videos in case you want to review from past weeks or in case you missed, in case you find these valuable. I know that I do. So thank you again for being with us, and I look forward to our next contact next week.